Oh boy. Alright. What's up, y'all? This is like my fourth time recording this, so I'm just gonna skip the preamble, get into it. Oh, I'll do a little preamble, just to have a little fun. Yeah, I'm covering the Beatles. I'm skipping the prog shit for now, and doing some good old-fashioned classic pop, rock, whatever. But yeah, the Beatles, second favorite band of all time. If Pink Floyd didn't exist, they would be my favorite. It's very close, like neck and neck, pretty much. Yeah, I love them to death. I used to hate them in high school because I was a dumbass, but then I actually listened to them and it changed my mind forever. Just like not even just on the group in general, but like music as a whole. I started taking it more seriously as an art form instead of, just something you put on the radio to pass the time. But yeah, I love them. I think all these albums are pretty good. I don't hate any of them except maybe one, but it's not really hatred, it's more like apathy. But yeah, let's skip the bullshit and get into it. Now, I did this joke already in my last video, but I'm doing it again because it's funny. Yeah, Yellow Submarine. It's not great. Two of the songs are from other albums. I thought there was three songs, but I'm thinking of the movie, which has Eleanor Rigby on it, and for some reason the album doesn't. Weird. And some of the original songs are kinda ass. Only a Northern Song I hate. Probably the worst song George did for the Beatles. Hey Bulldog, I like a lot. I like a lot. Hey Bulldog is fantastic. That amazing guitar riff and piano. Um, All Together Now, pretty good. That's about it. Like, it's fine. It's listenable. Half of it, I think the worst part about it is that it goes from like OG Beatles songs to like weird fucking like film soundtrack stuff from George Martin, their producer. It's not bad. It's not really bad soundtrack stuff, but it's just tonal whiplash in my opinion. Like you hear it and it's like, what the fuck happened? Is this the Beatles or like a Lord of the Rings album or something? But yeah, this album is fucking boring. There's not much on here we're listening to aside from Hey Bulldog. I will say the movie though, pretty good if you're into that weird psychedelia animation type thing. All right, and all right, See Onward. I like pretty well. Obviously, the higher I get, the more I like. But the rest of these I like a lot. This is my least favorite of the good albums, though. Please, Please Me. Not a bad record at all. It's just not my kind of music. I appreciate like that early '60s pop rock type thing. I'm more into the harder stuff and the more experimental stuff. If I want like that classic like early period rock stuff, I'll go to like black music from the '50s or just hard blues. I'm not really into this pop rock like I don't know. I call it twink rock type type stuff. '60s twink rock. But it's not a bad album at all. It's pretty good. Just not my thing. I don't like I Saw Her Standing There. Creepy lyrics aside, she was just 17 and you know what I mean. Like, come on, Paul. You can't sing about that. I get you're in England, but come on, buddy. Yeah, I don't care for that song, to be honest. Misery's okay. Anna Go to Him in Chains, I like a lot. Pretty classy doo-wop type songs, which I believe are covers. Could be wrong. I'm gonna check right now. Yep. That's how it goes. Yeah, they're covers. Pretty good covers though. Harrison sounds really good on the vocals. Actually, all the vocals on this album are pretty good. They sing fairly good here. Uh, was it Boys? Yeah, I like that one. Pretty decent Ringo tune. The title track is great. Love Me Do's great. Best song on the album by far. P.S. I Love You is eh. Baby It's You is pretty good. The other tracks I don't even remember. And Twist and Shout is great. So yeah, a couple decent songs, couple great songs, and the rest is kind of fluff. Not bad fluff, just kind of fluff to me. Like, I don't know. A lot of these are just covers. Can't really say if I prefer these covers over the original, because I haven't heard a lot of the originals. But, not bad covers. I've heard worse covers from other artists. Like the band's Free Your Mind cover, which is the worst goddamn thing I've heard in my life. That's a whole other tangent, though. But yeah, Please Please Me is like a 6.5 out of 10. Not bad. It's fine. Just not my era, to be honest. Um, I guess I'll go in debut order now. Now I'll stick with the. Actually, should I? Whatever. Yeah. C tier is Help. I'm gonna get yelled at for this one, but anyway. Yeah, I'm not crazy about Help, to be honest. I like the title track, obviously. Everyone does. Yesterday's a beautiful tune. Paul kills it. Apparently, that's the only song John thought was good. That's probably not true. He's probably just talking shit for that song. But moving on. Yeah, Help's a good song. The night before up to You Gotta Hide Your Lover Away. Not really crazy. I Need You's pretty good. Another Girl. You're Gonna Lose That Girl. Pretty good. Ticket to Ride's great. The rest of the songs don't do it for me. Act Naturally is fucking terrible. Not Ringo's finest hour in my opinion. People rag on Yellow Submarine and they give Act Naturally a pass. Like, come on. Okay, maybe they don't. I don't know. I'm talking on my ass, but that's that's probably true. Maybe people hate Yellow Submarine. I do not understand why, but I'll get on that later when we get to Revolver. Yeah, Yesterday's a great song. Dizzy Miss Lizzie's a pretty fire cover. Yeah, it's fine. It's more disappointing than anything else because this is when like the Beatles, like this album forward, they pretty much like this is when they become the band that everyone loves. And I don't really get this album to be honest. It's fine. It just never grabbed me. I've heard it a couple times and it never, you know, like lit a fire in me like some of these other records did. Like some of these other records did. Sorry. But yeah, I'll give it a 6.5 too. It's listenable. It's good. It's just not my thing. I want to like it more than I do. And obviously, there's some classics on here. It's just to me. I think some of the hit like songs aside, it's just okay. All right, what's next? Excuse me. I'm gonna go with Beatles for Sale. This is their weird, not really. What do you call this? This is a weird one. Like no one really gasses this album up too much, but I like it a lot. I think it's great. I mean, No Reply's a fantastic opener. I'm a Loser's great. Babies in Black, primo, primo Beatles. Rock and Roll Music, a pretty good Chuck Berry cover. And I'll Follow the Sun is beautiful. I can't really complain about that song. It's so good. I think it's a Paul track. It sounds like it would be. I'm not too sure. Me one moment. Yeah, okay, I figured. Yeah, it's a Paul song. Sometimes I kind of the early Beatles records at least sometimes I kind of confuse the voices. I'm not sure why. That they're pretty distinct. I'm just an idiot. Yeah, Mr. Moonlight's good. Not a fan of Kansas City. Hey, hey, hey. It's an okay cover, just not my thing. I prefer the original. 8 Days a Week, awesome. Words of Love, eh. Honey Don't's good. Every Little Thing's good. I Don't Want to Spoil the Parties, throwaway tune. Whatever you're doing, same deal. Everybody's trying to be my baby. Is that how that goes? I don't remember. Yeah, that one's okay too. Yeah, I can see why people rank it low. This one is more covers heavy than the other ones. It might as well be a covers. My fucking headset turned off again. Incredible. This is gonna be a theme in every video I make, by the way, until I get a new headset. But yeah, good album. I think it's fine. This is like a 7, 7.5. Underrated, but I can see why people don't really put it on that much. I kind of like the sardonic tone on the first couple tracks. Those are the ones I put on the most from this album. I think the covers are a bit stronger here. But yeah, it's not one I listen to that much, which will be a theme for these early Beatles albums, aside from one, but we'll get to that. Next of the B tier is With the Beatles, their second album, or Meet the Beatles if you're American and over 80. Yeah, this album is so much fun. I love it. Great opener with It Won't Be Long. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fucking incredible opener to an album. Oh my god. So much fun. All they've got to do is okay. All my loving's good. Don't bother me. I love it. Little child. Eh. Till There Was You's pretty good. Please, Mr. Postman. Yeah, great cover. I love it. Roll Over Beethoven's good. Hold Me Tight, I love. You really got a hold on me. Oh my god, fantastic song. I Want to Be Your Man's fun. Devil in Our Heart's good. And Money's good. Oh, sorry, Money. That's what I want. Yeah, strong vocals from everyone. George, John, Paul. They do a good job here. Again, I think this is like this. Is it? No, it's not. It's not. Yeah, I just like this album a lot. I think it's fun. A little short on content. IMO. And too many covers, which is a problem for these early Beatles albums. Because albums were kind of weird back then. Because like a good chunk of the content was just covers songs. Sorry, from other artists. Which, yeah, they don't really do that anymore. You'll be lucky to get like one cover song on an album nowadays. But anyway, yeah, fun album. Uh, Probably 7.5 as well. I think it's just more fun than the other few. IMO. All right, now the last of the B tier. Maybe. I don't know where to put this. This is hard. Yeah, I'll put an A tier. Magical Mystery Tour. This album is it's a pretty good psychedelic pop record. Title track's fun. Fool in the Hills fun. It's just a fun, weird album. Blue Jay Way is weird and strange, and I like it. I Am the Walrus is fucking stupid, and I love it to death. Penny Lane, pretty primo pop song, which Paul is extremely good at. And the best song on the album by far, Strawberry Fields Forever. Yeah, perfect psychedelic song. It's so good. Everyone's singing on top form. They're playing great. It's just so bizarre. Like, I love it. Baby, You're a Rich Man's pretty funny. And of course, All You Need Is Love. Yeah, good song. Chorus is the best part. It's just a weird one. It feels like Sergeant Pepper, like the outtakes of it. I think some of the songs on here are better than some of the ones in Sergeant Pepper, but I think as a whole, it's just weird. It's just a weird like footnote album. Like sometimes I forget it exists until I hear some of the songs. I'm like, oh yeah, that album's a thing. It's still really good though. Like every time I hear it, I'm like, oh yeah, this album's great. For a fucking soundtrack album, it's pretty spectacular. I haven't seen the movie. I don't think anyone has. Anyone alive, at least. But I would recommend the album. This is the inverse of Yellow Submarine, where the Yellow Submarine movie is great, but the album sucks ass. And this is the opposite. Maybe the movie's a masterpiece. I don't fucking know. I don't want any of y'all telling me it's a masterpiece either, because you're probably lying to me. But yeah, good, pretty spectacular album. 8 out of 10, I believe. I gotta listen to it more. It's just I don't know. Again, I keep forgetting it's a thing. And here we go. This is my favorite of the early Beatles tunes. This is their third record, Hard Day's Night. The title track is spectacular. Not much to say there. I should have known better with a girl like you. Mwah. Beautiful. If I Fell's great. Happy to Dance with You's eh. And I Love Her's pretty good. Tell Me Why's okay. Can't Buy Me Love is perfect. One of my favorite Beatles songs ever. It's just so catchy in like a good way. Paul sings a top form. Is it Paul or John? I don't know. I think it's Paul. Anytime at all I love as well. I'll Cry Instead's pretty sweet. Things you said today is good. When I Get Home, eh. You Can't Do That, eh. And I'll Be Back finishes off the album spectacularly. Yeah, another pretty superb album that I need to listen to more. It's just classic early 60s rock, but the early 60s rock I prefer. It's just a good time. I heard the movie's good too, but I haven't seen it. I probably won't, to be honest, because it's a fucking Beatles movie. Who cares? That was mean. I'm sorry. I'm sure it's great. I just don't care. Alright, now the last of the A tier is Rubber Soul. Now, I think this album is when the Beatles became like the coolest band ever. Because this album is magnificent. It's so good. It's got Nowhere Man on it, which I believe was also in it was also in the Yellow Submarine movie, but not the album. Oh, my bad. It's on the fucking Yellow Submarine song track, but not the actual album. I don't get that at all. Yeah, Drive My Car is so much fun. Baby, you can drive my car. It's great. Norwegian Wood is fantastic. I believe that's a George song. A George song? Let me check. Oh, that's a Lennon McCartney song. I'm sorry. I don't know anything. He does do the sitar though. Yeah, this is when they did the Indian thing. The Indian thing. Like this is when Indian music started influencing their sound, and I think it's fantastic. They do it better on some other records, but on here, primo. You Won't See Me's pretty fun. Nowhere Man's great. Think for Yourself, I love. Say the word and you'll be free. Mwah. Michel Mabel, perfect. Paul is very good at speaking French, which is weird, but he's good at it. Girl's good. Looking Through You's great. In My Life is like one of the best songs ever made. That opening like guitar riff from God, who does it? It's John or George or Paul, because Paul plays the mean guitar as well. In my life, I love them all. Yeah, it's George. Yeah, that opening guitar riff is like the birth of modern like pop rock music, indie rock, alt rock, whatever. Like if I heard this song and didn't know it was a Beatles song, or if I was fucking stupid, I would think this song came out like not that long ago. But it came out in the mid 60s. That's how good this song is. It's timeless. It's perfect. I love it. Wait is good as well. The last two tracks aren't that great. If I Needed Someone's alright. It's fine. Run for Your Life is fucking terrible. Not one of John's finer songs. It's about a guy that's trying to kill a woman because he looked at a man or some shit. Even John says he regretted writing that song. And I don't blame him because it sucks. It's really weird and oddly misogynistic even for the time it came out in. But yeah, aside from those two songs, Rubber Soul is mwah. Great album. Pretty much near perfect, but not S tier perfect. IMO. Great album though. I love it. It's so good. Alright, next five albums are like the best albums ever made. Arguably. Actually, no, I'm not gonna argue. Fuck you. This is correct, and you're wrong if you don't think so. But yeah, all right. Number five is Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Yeah, it's a classic. Everyone knows it's good. That opening title track is perfect in every way. With a little help from my friends, it's a nice little transition song. And Ringo sings on it, and he sounds good. Lucy in the Sky, I never need to hear again, but I like it. It's good. Getting Better, I like. Pretty primo Lennon-McCartney song, IMO. Lyrics are kind of strange, especially if you know if you know John's personal life. Let me pull up a line real quick. Is it on here? Hold on. There it is. All right. I believe this is a line Lennon wrote. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure it's true considering, his his past with Cynthia. All right. I used to be cruel to my woman. I beat her and kept her apart from the things that she loved. Like, come on, John. What are you doing there? You can't say that. Especially now. Well, you can't say it now because he's dead. But yeah, that kind of gives credence. Not much credence, but that whole stupid ass meme where people were like, "Oh, John beat his wife, lol." I'm not gonna fucking get into that. No one wants to hear that. Well, maybe. If I make a Lennon video, I'll make a couple jokes, but I'm not gonna do it now. What were we talking about again? Oh yeah, Sergeant Pepper. Yeah, Getting Better is fantastic. Fixing a Hole is pretty fun. Another Paul McCartney banger. She's Leaving Home. Oh, it's great. It's Baroque pop, but it's fantastic. Not that Baroque pop is bad, but this is a pretty like superb example of that done extremely well. Being for the benefit of Mr. Kite. That's a weird song, which I think George is the lead singer on it. I like it. It's fun. I can't. It's silly, but it's like cute. Like you can't really hate it. Like just lighten up a bit if you don't like it. I don't know. Fuck you. When I'm 64, mwah, it's beautiful. Paul wrote that song when he was like a fucking child. He really was a genius. Well, still is, I guess. Oh my God. Fucking Within You, Without You. Oh my God. What a superb piece of music. God, it's just George is so good with the whole Indian thing. He was perfect at it. No wonder he became a Hindu. He's fucking so enamored with it, and he did it so well. I'm rambling. I'm sorry, but yeah, great song. Kind of proggy. I mean, I know it's raga rock. I'm not an idiot, but you know, this whole album could be a prog album. To be honest, I've heard that argument. I kind of buy into it. Good morning, good morning. Cute little interlude. The the Sergeant Pepper reprise is good. There's not really a bad song on here, and I will not argue with you if you say otherwise. Oh my God, A Day in the Life, like probably the best album closer of all time. There's nothing better, except maybe Brain Damage. Is that? No, sorry, Eclipse. I'm a fake Pink Floyd fan, sorry. But yeah, A Day in the Life. Oh my God, like they wrote that song in like '67, back in the day when people fucking got like asbestos poisoning from like living in a house because they didn't know any better. What the fuck does that even mean? Why'd I say that? But yeah, these guys were so ahead of their time. It's a wonder anyone hates them at all. Like I don't understand it. Like like unironic Beatles hatred. Obviously, if you're ragging them as a joke, yeah, it's fine. It's a fucking joke. But people like genuinely, some people actually hate the Beatles, and I think the main reason is because they never listened to a Beatles album in their life. But I don't know. That's an argument for another day. But yeah, Sgt. Pepper is a classic for a reason. It's near perfect. Not a bad song on there. It combines so many good things: Baroque pop, prog rock, raga rock, again psychedelia. Yeah, it's perfect. And that album cover is a classic for a reason. But yeah, fucking great album. There's four more I prefer though. Sorry, I saw text. All right, number four is Let It Be. All right, I'm gonna gush about this album for a little bit, so bear with me. I've seen people rank this near the bottom, and you can have that opinion. I'll respect it, but you're wrong, and here's why. All right, it opens with Two of Us, very wholesome song, Lennon, written by Lennon and McCartney. Sorry, cool little acoustic, nice little drum beat from Ringo, and that funny little opening verse from John makes me laugh every time. I dig a pygmy. Yeah, I love it. It's great. Dig a pony. Oh my God, fucking classy bluesy guitar riffs and the vocals from John and Paul are to die for. They're perfect. Across the Universe is fucking that's a top five song for me. The stripped down version is not very good. The production is the best part about it, but the lyrics are still great. The acoustic playing is beautiful, and John sounds fantastic. But the production and like the way it sounds is mwah. All right. I Me Mine is a pretty fantastic Harrison track. I Me Mine, I Me Mine, I Me Mine. Yeah, I love it. It's great. Dig It is great, but it's too short. It needs to be a full song. I hate that it's not. It makes me mad. It's got a cool little guitar riff. John sounds great on the vocals. Like a rolling stone. Yeah, it's really good. Maggie May's fun. Makes me laugh. Let It Be is perfect. Probably the best title track of all time. I've Got a Feeling. Another perfect Lennon McCartney duo song. Which McCartney actually performed recently on his like last tour, I guess. And yeah, it's really good. Fucking fantastic. And I will not uh what? And I will not fucking take a statement that says otherwise. One after 909, mwah, I love it. The long and winding road, pretty good as well. Should have been the end song in my opinion. For You Blues pretty good, and Get Back's great. This album's biggest problem is that it's structured kind of strangely. Some of these songs should have been the end track, like Let It Be or Across the Universe, or even Long and Winding Road. Long and Winding Road, fuck, sorry. But yeah, aside from the structure, this album is pretty much perfect. I don't see why people don't like it that much. I get it, it's kind of a weird note to end for the Beatles, but it's still a fucking fantastic album. I mean, no one hates it. I don't think anyone dislikes it, but it's so good. I love it. It's folky, country, bluesy, and they do it like perfectly, like without any effort. It's crazy. Even when the band was fucking falling apart at the seams because they became overgrown babies and hated each other for like no reason at all because of their own success. They still cranked out a fucking perfect album. Like, how do they do it? Was it drugs? Was it talent? I don't know. They were just really good. All right, I'm dick riding too much. I'm sorry. All right, number three is Revolver. Yeah, this album is also perfect in every way. This is did this come before or after Pet Sounds? I know one guy who's gonna kill me if I get this wrong. I think this came after. Okay, May '66. All right, yeah, this came after. I think this is the album. Okay, Pet Sounds was the album that is the reason this album exists. Maybe. Or was that Sergeant Pepper? I don't know. Yeah, but fucking regardless, perfect album in every way. Where do I even start? Opens with Taxman, a George Harrison song, pretty poignant social commentary wise, and one of the best guitar riffs I've ever heard in my life from Paul of all people. And speaking of Paul, Eleanor Rigby is shockingly beautiful. Oh my god. Like they wrote this in like the mid 60s. Like if someone wrote this now, I think it's like ahead of its time. It was ahead of its time back then. It's crazy. And I think my favorite part of this album is that like every Beatles member gets like a spot to shine, vocally, instrumentally, whatever. Not that other albums don't do that, but some of them do it more than others. And this album, I think, does the best at it, or at least it's up there for me. And I'm sorry, moving on. I'm Only Sleeping's pretty good. Nice, cozy little psychedelic tune John did. Love You Too is my favorite of the George Harrison Beatles songs. Top five for sure. Fucking insane song. Maybe the best of like that rocker rock thing from back in the day. I love it. It's so good. It's a top 10 Beatles song for sure for me. Here Then Everywhere is cute. It's a fun little pop song. The vocal harmonies are perfect. And Yellow Submarine, I love. Why do people hate it? It's so much fun. It's cute. Ringo sings on it, and he has a good time. I like seeing Ringo have fun. It's cool. She said, fucking killer guitar riff, amazing vocals, good drumming. It's not much to really complain about. Good day, sunshine. Mwah. Very good. And Your Birkin Sing, also pretty good. For No One's great. Dr. Robert, I love. Very catchy. I want to tell you. Great. Got to Get You Into My Life. Another great Paul pop song. And Tomorrow Never Knows. Oh my god. Speaking of ahead of its time. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, how do you make a song like that back then? Fucking George Martin, man. God bless him. That album doesn't even sound possible, but it was. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. But the fact that it was made back in the day is crazy to me. And this came out now, again, like Eleanor Rigby. I'd be like, hey, wow, this is way ahead of its time. And now that I hear it, and the fact that it's a 60s song kind of proves my point. Why did my Discord go off? That scared the absolute dog shit out of me. Anyway, who the fuck? I'll check that later. Anyway, yeah, perfect album in every way. One of my favorites of all time. Dude, who is on my Discord? Fuck off. Of course, it's a fucking server I'm never gonna look at. Sorry. Yeah, Revolver's great. I don't need to say anything else about it. You know what's good. Speaking of you know what's good, Abbey Road. This is my number one for a while, but it went down by like a smidge. Yeah, it's a classic album. People who don't even know the Beatles know this album because that cover is perfect and iconic. Like it's just dudes walking, and it's still like an iconic cover. It's weird. Come Together, pretty superb opener. I don't need to hear it again, but it's a pretty big staple of classic rock radio for good reason because it's good. Sweet little bass playing from Paul. Nice little guitar solo in the middle. The song is about jacking off, apparently. Which, sure. The second track's even better, though. Something, which is beautiful. George's best song. Not my favorite, but it's up there. This song is why he's my favorite Beatle. It's so good. Amazing guitar work. The singing is gorgeous. Not much to complain about there. Maxwell Silverhammer, I love to death. It's so much fun. I like when George bangs the hammer. Was that George? I don't know. Oh, I forgot to give credit. I'm sorry. Props to Billy Preston for some killer keyboard work on these albums. He's half the reason Get Back sounds as good as it does, with that cool little keyboard solo in the middle half. But anyway, sorry, moving on. Oh Darling is perfect, amazing guitar riff, and Probably Paul's best vocals, IMO, or it's up there. He fucking sings his ass off. It's crazy that he sounds that good. Octopus's Garden is fun. Not much to complain about. It's a nice little Ringo tune. I Want You is good. Pretty classy blues tune, which I believe was John's. It was John's. John's was the big blues guy of the group, so fair enough. Here Comes the Sun. Yeah, you've heard this song. It's perfect. Come on. I'm not going to talk about it. Because it's pretty good. Kind of strange. It's not one I love, but I think it's good. There's not a bad track on this album. And you got the Abbey Road medley, which I believe was "You Never Give Me Your Money" up to Her Majesty. Yeah, probably the best piece of music ever created. "You Never Give Me Your Money" is perfect in every way. The Sun King is beautiful. They speak Spanish on it, and they sound pretty good. Me, Mr. Mustard's pretty fun. Mean Mr. Mustard. My mic did it again, twice in a row. That's spectacular. Polythene Pam I used to hate, but I kind of like now. It's fun. She came in through the bathroom window. Great song. Golden Slumbers is great. Carry That Weight, probably. Alright, this. How do I explain this? Pretty spectacular album overall, but. I'm sorry. Carry That Weight, probably the best way they could have ended it, but they had two more songs after that. The End and Her Majesty is pretty good too. Her Majesty's kind of like a weird little, like, 3-second end song. I don't really know why it was on there, but it's not bad. But yeah, this is like a perfect record. It's very proggy, very psychedelic. Everyone's playing at top form, even though they fucking hate each other at this point. Billy Preston does pretty killer keyboard work, especially on Maxwell Silver Hammer. Actually, let me check that before I fucking get that wrong, because I probably will. So, oh, I'm sorry. He plays on Something and I Want You. Who plays the keyboard on fucking... Or the Moog keyboard? I'm not too sure. Might have been Paul. It was Paul. Wow. Alright. But yeah, props to Billy Preston and George Martin for, you know, being the actual fifth and sixth Beatles and not Pete Davidson and whoever the fuck else is in the band. I'm rambling. I'm sorry. Yeah, Abbey Road's great. I don't need to fucking talk about it anymore. Everyone knows it's good. That is really hard to see. I'm sorry. And yeah, the White Album or the Beatles. It's called the White Album, like like the Black Album from Metallica. Yeah, I've heard this album way too many times. I think it might be my favorite album of all time. It is a double album, I think. The only one they've ever made, somehow. It's kind of a mess, but a beautiful mess. I love almost every song on here. I mean, if you open with Back in the USSR, you're probably doing pretty good. Great little funny satirical kind of like Americana song, but about the USSR. Like it's like a Beach Boys song, but it's about communism, and that's kind of funny. Yeah, Paul was ahead of the game. Dear Prudence, perfect. That beautiful little rhythm guitar thing, whatever you call it, in the beginning is amazing. Glass Onion's pretty good, kind of funny. very self-referential. Obla Di Obla Da is fun. You, I don't know why people hate it. I don't know. I feel like that gets wrapped in like those annoying Beatles songs that people don't like, but I don't think it's annoying. I think it's fun. Wild Honey Pie is a joke song, and it's like 3 seconds long. Believe it or not, the 2018 remix is actually worse than the original. It sounds like fucking shit. Granted that the song was never like great in the first place, but it's bizarre that they made it worse somehow. Bungalow Bill, I love. While My Guitar Gently Weeps, perfect. Great little Clapton guitar riff. You know, the one thing he was ever good at in his life, playing guitar. Happiness is a warm gun, mama. Yeah, it's great. Kind of tone deaf now because, John Lennon was gunned down, but, I like it. It's a great song. Martha, My Dear's fun. It's a song Paul wrote about his dog. I'm So Tired. Probably, I think it's like one of my favorite John Lennon songs from the Beatles. Amazing guitar riffs near in the middle, and some cool bass playing, and pretty killer vocals. Yeah, there's too many songs on here, so I'm not gonna fucking discuss every single one of them. So I'm just gonna move on. Blackbird is fucking spectacular. An amazing civil rights metaphor song. Beautiful acoustics. Not much to say. Rocky Raccoon's good. Don't Pass Me By is good. Julia's beautiful. Birthday's pretty fun. Your Blues is great. It's a nice little parody of like white blues songs from Britain at the time. And it's better than most white blues songs from that time, somehow. It's like with Jethro Tull when they made a parody prog album, and it was better than most prog albums that came out of that time. Anyway, moving on. Sexy Sadie's kind of funny. Helter Skelter, my favorite Beatles song of all time. It's invented heavy metal. Maybe. You could argue that fucking Jimi Hendrix invented heavy metal, Led Zeppelin, Sabbath, whatever. And yeah, those are correct opinions, but I'm more inclined to believe that this song invented heavy metal. They literally just pulled it out of their ass because they heard a fucking Who song, and they were like, let's do something like that but heavier, and they did because that's just how they were. Revolution 1's good. I prefer the one on the album more than the single version. The single version's really good, but I like the original better. And the elephant in the room, Revolution 9. Oh boy. Um, this is it's a weird one. People hate it, and I get that. It's not one I put on too much, but whenever I go through the album, I don't skip it. I think it's kind of neat that they can make a song like that because they're like the biggest artists of all time, and they just made fucking noise. That's pretty ballsy of them, pretty punk. I mean, you can't imagine like, I don't know, MGK doing that. Granted, every song he's ever made's been noise and not really good noise. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm rambling now. But yeah, this is my Beatles list. I didn't script this at all, so that's why I talked like an asshole for half the video. Yeah, I love these guys. They're perfect. At least like flawed perfection. At least were they great people? Yeah, a good chunk of them weren't. They definitely had an ego complex by the end of their career, but they were an ungodly talent that was shocking to find back then. Yeah, what can I say about the Beatles? They're the Beatles. It'd be like talking about the sky. Like, what do you say about the sky? Like, the sky's pretty and it exists. Like, what else can you say about them that hasn't been said? Oh, excuse me. Oh, yeah, I'm done for the night. I'm tired. I want to go to bed. So I'll upload this whenever between now and never. I don't know. But yeah, I'm done for the night. Thank you guys for watching. I'll be back with another video eventually. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, that's about it. I hope you guys had a good time, and I'll talk to y'all in the future. Peace out. Hasta luego. Yada yada. See ya.